You're watching Missouri Western Television. This month, we take a look at Miss Saigon. Stay tuned for this story and more on this July edition of Western Reports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Wade. This month, Western Reports has a special behind-the-scenes look at Western Playhouse's production of Miss Saigon.
Originally, I'm from this place called Plum Run, West Virginia. But then most people understand where Morgantown, West Virginia is, so that's where I base myself out of, and that's where I go to school now currently. West Virginia University, I'm studying for a BFA in acting there at a studio intensive. Being ethnically diverse, you can't obviously play to one person. So a lot of times they found a way to put a mask on me or put me in makeup that allows me to do something else. So I've done a lot of character things. First show I was in at WVU, I was blind, castrated, had a fat suit, and had a hook for a hand. So that was a lot of fun to just play with. But recently I did the Chekhov's The Cherry Orchard, and I got to play an 87-year-old Russian man who had been servicing this family for 50-some years. So I've done a lot of interesting character work. I've also done a lot of individual projects where I've directed, and I've been a part of interesting characters and scenes and whatnot. And Tui's the first, I guess, hardcore bad guy that I've played in a certain way, meaning that he is viewed to be the antagonist. So I've had such a diverse lineup of characters that this one's just another one of the repertoire that I'm really embracing.
My name is V. Tran. I am an actor and a singer-songwriter and a storyteller. And I was born in Vietnam and raised in southwest Kansas. So I like to consider myself equal parts sea salt and wheat fields. It really is about that. My heritage is a big part of who I am as a person. I'll never get away from that, nor would I want to. It's part of the fabric of who I am. But then again, I was also raised like a country boy in southwest Kansas, and so there's that strong sense of Americana within me too. And so I carry that in the art that I create and just the artistic life that I lead. And as an actor, I'm based out of Kansas City. And those who are in Kansas City may have seen me at the Unicorn Theater, the Coterie Theater, Heart of America Shakespeare Festival, and Starlight Theater as well. And I've played, I've played a number of roles that run the gamut of different character types. And that's kind of the joy of being a work-for-hire actor, is that you get to slip yourself into a role. One show you might be doing Shakespeare, and the next show you might be doing a children's show or a really, really compelling, racy drama. And so I've had the pleasure to have that variety in my career so far. And so now I'm very, very excited to slip into the character of the engineer in Miss Saigon. The engineer is this awesome character that you kind of wait a lifetime to play, and I'm so thankful to T and Mark and the whole production team for giving me an opportunity to play this role at such a young age. But he is one of those resourceful, manipulative, sleazy characters that you just love to hate or to love, period. I mean, if that's your MO. He is a very, very clever and intelligent man who kind of was born at the wrong time in the wrong place. In any other set of circumstances, he would have been a really, really successful businessman. Unfortunately, he was born in the chaos of Vietnam after they won their independence from the French, and then plunged immediately into civil war. And so here he is. With a shrewd mind for business and ambition, but he's just in really, really, really poor circumstances to get ahead in life. And so he does whatever he needs to, and so he has his club, Dreamland, which is, kind of a dance hall nightclub where he provides services to the American GIs who are looking for a little bit of an escape from the bloody chaos around them. And so his dancer girls, his call girls are there, available at a price for the American soldiers. And at the top of the show, that's how you see him making his way through the world. And then as more obstacles come up against him, and the stakes get higher and higher and more dangerous, you see this character use his shrewdness to weasel his way out or escape, harm, for the ultimate goal of getting out and getting to America, and pursuing that American dream.
Tui, in certain eyes, can be considered the bad guy. He is almost the manifestation or personification of the North communism. While in some people view it as the bad guy or whatever, in his eyes, he's doing what's right for him and his family and his country. He's very prideful, and he takes immense joy in what he does, to an extent. He has to go through a lot of dirty situations to basically move up in rank. He starts, you find out during the play that he switches sides, and from that he gains power to become the commissar, which is a pretty big step up from coming from the south all the way to the north and then becoming to power. And it's a similar case because he, at 13, was promised to Kim, the main girl, and when he switched, there was a family feud to an extent. Kim's family was killed in action, and he seemed to get away. It's kind of a similar aspect as the American Civil War, how brothers would pick sides and then families would start to fight. So, but in his eyes, he's doing what's right. He believes the best choice for his country is to support the communist regime because he knows the South's not going to win. So for him, it's more important to be on the right side and do what's right for the country as a whole. Even though he can be kind of scary at times, there's a part of him that's very, very passionate for everything that he does. And he just wants her to understand. All he does is try to get her to understand that it's the right way to go. But she's in love with an American GI, and that's kind of an issue. And so they have the love interest, like kind of a love triangle conflict. So he's a very intense character. One thing that I've learned is that you can never play the end of a scene. You can never know what's going to happen while you're on stage. So you have to be prepared for the first thing that happens. In the very beginning, when Tui first shows up, it's been 3 years since he's seen Kim, I believe 3 years. 4, actually. It's been 4 years since he's seen Kim. He thinks that she's going to honor her father's vow that she was promised to Tui. So when I show up, I'm thinking, okay, I'm here, we're going to go away, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to take you away, I'm going to keep you safe. She turns me down, and pretty forcefully. And that moment breaks a string in Tui. He realizes that whatever's happened in the time that he's been gone has not only disrupted her mind process of like family and honor, but who she actually is supposed to love and be with. In my eyes, or Tui's eyes, she's supposed to be with me. So she's pretty much pushing me away, and I snap to an extent and come at her. But there are other parts where he finally gets to be alone with her, and he doesn't have to have the image of the commissar. He doesn't have to have the image of being in power. So he gets to have almost a pleading moment with her. He's wanting her to come with him and understand. And even though he's in this situation of communist power, all he wants is the same thing as anybody wants. He just wants promises to be kept and to be loved by the person he's given himself with. I mean, he sustains his attraction and love to her for 7 years, and he assumes that she's doing the same exact thing. Turns out she's only doing it for somebody else. So,
Miss Saigon is one of those stories that touches on an age-old theme of why do we do this to ourselves? War, heartbreak, but then also the strength of the human spirit. It's funny that there are everyday tragedies that happen all the time, and we go to the theater to lose ourselves in a story that's just removed far enough from us that then that shines a reflection of truth to us, you know. And it's like if I tell you the battles that, you know, your local bank teller is going through, you know, or like death of a salesman, you know, it illuminates something that you might not have noticed before. With Miss Saigon, it's taking a very, very dark time in human history and illuminating all the complications that were there. It's fun, it's exciting. There's, you know, big spectacle and production numbers, but then there's also the rawness of human emotion, loss, and tragedy there. So it's like a Hollywood blockbuster, but it's also a time that you can step away from your daily life and just lose yourself in the power of storytelling and kind of be reminded of how hard we all work to seek happiness and to seek love and to seek freedom. And so that's Miss Saigon.
It's got something for everyone. If you love musicals, we got a cast that can sing. If you love acting and performance, we got a cast that can act, that will drive you to the end. If you love spectacle and just want to see something, a show, we have that. I mean, we have so much in this show in a 2.5 hours period that you wouldn't even understand is happening. I mean, there's time gaps, there's emotional crises, there's conflict, there's comedy, there's so much going on. And at the same time, it's a piece of history that everyone should be enlightened on. The Vietnam War is a lot of times guys come back and they don't want to share stories. They want to keep things that were there, and then they want their home life to be that. So for this is a chance for people to not only understand the struggle of American GIs and what they went through, but this is the Vietnamese people as well. This is a small glimpse into what they had to go through in everyday life. So this has not only everything for everybody, but at the same time, it's a learning experience, and you get to learn a lot about people and a lot about yourself.
We'll be right back.
Discover Gold at Missouri Western State University, now offering graduate degrees to advance your career in teaching, chemistry, media arts, IT management, and more. Missouri Western offers you convenient and affordable quality education with real-world experience. Discover Graduate Gold at Missouri Western State University. Information available at 816-271-4364.
Do you ever wonder what goes on in the arts community in St. Joseph? There's a lot to offer, and Missouri Western's newest show, Art Beat, will highlight the cultural community in St. Joe. We'll bring you theater, music, museums, art, activities for kids, and much, much more. I'm Stacy Park. Please join me for Art Beat on Missouri Western Television at the times you see here. You can also watch us on the web at missouriwestern.edu/artbeat.
What does it take to be a nursing leader in today's healthcare environment? Missouri Western State University's Master of Science in Nursing and Healthcare Leadership enables you to move from the bedside to positions of advanced leadership within healthcare. Coursework focuses on health informatics, organizational science, financial management, and healthcare policy. As a graduate, you will be prepared to advance your career and become a leader in nursing and an advocate for healthcare excellence.
And now for your campus news update. Western's Disability Department has recently undergone some changes. Western Reports has the full story.
Over the last couple of years, we've been really thinking long and hard about changing the name from Office of Disability Services to the Accessibility Resource Center. And there are a couple of different reasons for that. One being that if you look up in the dictionary and you look up the words handicap, handicapped, and disabled, they don't have very good things to say about a human being who happens to have a disability, that is. And so we started thinking we've got to kind of find a way to take disability and handicapped out of our vocabulary. We need to be the ones on campus who make that change because we're in charge of working with students with disabilities. And then I started looking around at what other universities do, and I started seeing a trend toward Disability Resource Center, Accessibility Resource Center, and when I found those, I realized that was the direction that I wanted our university to go, because it takes the focus off of the student with a disability and puts more of the focus on the university to provide accessibility and services for them. It really shifts it away from the former medical model that says this is a person who is sick or injured and we need to provide special services for them, kind of out of pity and feeling sorry for them. And it puts the onus back on us as a university to understand this is a fellow human being who has paid tuition and they have met our admission criteria, and we need to figure out a way to assimilate and integrate them into the classroom and into everything we offer at the university. And so it's a real different kind of a paradigm from the old medical model that says send them to go see the disability services person because they need help. Now the whole campus and the university will be engaged in, okay, this is a student, great. What can we do to help them? And so we collaborate and we figure things out together as a team instead of just sending them to one place to get services. The process was really simple. I had to go out and research and find some other universities that were using Accessibility Resource Center. And I asked them, I called them on the phone and said, how come you guys changed your name? And one of the questions that I was asked to find out is, will students be able to find you if you don't use the word disability in your name? And so I asked the universities that question, and they said, yeah, it's, you put that in the search engine so that when a student types in disability or IEP or 504 or any of the related terms, it still shows up and hits the website for the Accessibility Resource Center. And being this, thinking about it in the same way that we are now, they had changed their name so that they could focus more on providing access rather than treating the student as a patient. They're treating the student as a person who needs access to physical spaces and places, access to notes, access to lecture information, access to all kinds of services that are related to their disability. Well, during the last year, we have been really fortunate to receive some capital funds from the Board of Governors. They allocated a certain amount of funds for us to make our parking lots and our sidewalks more accessible and more safe. And so we've combined that money with some money that we received from the Student Government Association, and you're seeing kind of the fruits of that investment right now. If you look outside on our campus, you're seeing some new parking spaces go in and some much better, more safe, more accessible sidewalks in front of Eder Hall and on the side of this building, Hearns. And so all of that is a joint collaborative effort that we haven't seen in quite a while, and it's very exciting for us. I know sidewalks and parking lots aren't very exciting to most people, but I've stood down there and I've watched people use the new sidewalks that actually needed them, and they were able to get to safety. They weren't out in the flow of vehicular traffic, and they were up on a sidewalk where they could be safe and get to the destination where they wanted to go. So in my mind, that investment has already had a full return and it's paid for itself because students are now able to come and go in a much more safe fashion than they were before.
The Innovation Resource Center of AACSB International, the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, has taken notice of one of Western's most unique programs. The association has featured a spotlight on the partnership between the Craig School of Business and the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. The spotlight focuses on how Steve Craig, CEO of Craig Realty Group of California and benefactor of Craig School of Business, encouraged the school to expand its entrepreneurial focus, helping students get into business as soon as they graduate. Since the program was started in 2009, 15 students and alumni have been awarded stores across the nation, and all have been successful. Last December, 2 of the student stores were ranked in the top 20% of all RMCF stores nationally. All of the student stores were in the top 2/3 of RMCF stores for the year of 2012. AACSB International is the premier accreditation body for business schools around the world, accrediting the top 5% of business schools worldwide. And we're gratified that they have recognized how our partnership with Steve Craig and Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory has unleashed the entrepreneurial potential for our students and alumni, said Carol Raver, Interim Dean of the Craig School of Business. I hope our success can serve as a model for other schools as they consider their own partnerships with the business community. The spotlight will be featured throughout the month of July on the Innovation Center's website. To see the article, go to www.aacsb.edu. Registration has been held throughout the summer. The programs give new students the opportunity to get acquainted with the campus, schedule their classes, get their student ID, and meet their future colleagues. Students living in 51 counties in Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Illinois will be able to attend Missouri Western at a rate equivalent to the in-state tuition rate. The Griffin rate will take effect this fall and will save potential students $200 per credit hour. For a student taking 15 credit hours a semester, this is a $6,000 savings per year. Missouri Western is committed to keeping higher education affordable, and the Griffin rate reflects that commitment, said Howard McCauley, Dean of Enrollment Management. We're pleased to extend our low in-state tuition to thousands of other potential students. To see if your county is eligible, check out missouriwestern.edu/businessoffice/griffinrate.asp. And for registration dates and additional details, check out the calendar on our website. And now for your upcoming events. Student registrations will be held throughout the month of July. Check out the campus calendar for details. The campus smoking ban is now active. Chiefs Training Camp starts July 19th. Homeschool dual credit registrations are July 22nd and 23rd. Artscape 2013 is August 5th through the 10th. For registration information, check out the campus calendar. For the most current events at Western, check out the event planner on our website. We're out of time for this July edition of Western Reports. Be sure to watch us on Missouri Western Television every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 a.m. or online at missouriwestern.edu/imc/news. If you have any suggestions for our program, please email us at television@missouriwestern.edu. New programs air at the beginning of each month. I'm Christina Wade. Thanks for watching.